I'm noticing that a lot of my gear lately has been much smaller, whether it comes to cameras like action cameras like the GoPros, lights, audio recorders, shotgun microphones, or webcams. I'm just having a lot of smaller pieces of gear that requires mounting systems that aren't your traditional tripod for camcorders or DSLR cameras. So I've been accumulating, or I've been researching and buying and accumulating a lot of these monopod tabletop tripods here. And these are all the ones that I have so far. I have actually a lot more that I don't want to show, but these are the ones that I'm picking out, and I'm going to go through each of these tripods, monopods, tabletop tripods. Some of them are just extension sticks, and I'm going to talk about what I like and I don't like about these and how I use them, or if I do use them at all for any of these pieces of gear. Going from right to left, this is the Joby Handypod, which is exactly the same as the Manfrotto Pixie Plus. It's a tabletop tripod. It fits the hand. When it spreads out, it's only one setting, and then it collapses back together. The way you move this ball mount is you press this button, and then it moves around. This weighs about 6.4 ounces. The payload is 2.2 pounds. However, as I've been having this and putting multiple pieces of gear on it, I'm noticing that it does move. This does not lock in place, so it's not the sturdiest. The 2.5 pound payload, I don't buy that. I think it's less than that. Over time, especially, it's wearing out. And I'm even afraid to put on my action cameras, because when I put on my action cameras and I move around a lot, it's moving the ball mount. So it's something's coming loose here. Maybe if I tighten it up, maybe it needs to be tightened up, this Allen key here, maybe that tightens up the ball. The folded length, this is 7.5 inches, and then when you open it up to put it on a table, the height is 5.8 inches. The Handypod and the Manfrotto Pixie Plus, I believe, is around $30. The Ultrapod is unique in that it's all plastic. Undo this knob here, and then it comes with this Velcro. And what this is advertised as is that you're supposed to Velcro this to poles or to trees, and then you can have this as if you're a hunter, or if you're exploring in nature, you can strap this around a tree branch and then tie your GoPro or your camera or your audio recorder there, and you lock it down. I don't use it for that, but it's there, and it's permanently built in. You cannot take this Velcro strap out. So it expands to only one height, and you set it down, move it around like that. This is $30, around $30. It weighs 3.2 ounces. The payload is 6 pounds, so that's good. It holds a lot of weight, and it does feel like it can hold a lot of weight. Even though it's all plastic, this is pretty sturdy. And then once you open it up and set it on a table, the max height is 7 inches. But I would not get the Ultrapod anymore. This is the Ultrapod II, but I wouldn't get any tripods that have this form factor or look like this. This is just, there's not a lot of uses. It's not very multi-purpose. I kind of regret buying this. The next one is the GoPro 3-way. This has been out for a while, and you probably have seen this before. When it used to be expensive, but now it's $70, which is still expensive actually. And it's all plastic, and the way it extends is you push this locking button open, and then with their GoPro 3 system here, the 3 little notches, undo that one, undo that part here, and then here's where the GoPro or whatever camera that has the GoPro mount or audio interface, because a lot of mounts now are adapting to the GoPro mount because so many people have the GoPro, and it extends like so, and then you could lock them all down, and then when you're on your skateboard or you're on your snowboard, you can just hold it out and roll with it. Or if you want to set it up, it has a built-in tripod legs. in here, and these are plastic as well. These are the flimsiest. For $70, I expected a lot more from GoPro than these cheap plastic legs here. But yeah, these legs are not really gonna cut it. This is more for the holding it like a stick. The weight on this is 0.8 pounds. The max height, the adjustable height, it goes from 7.5 inches to 20 inches in length. Collapse it, press the lock button. If you're an action sports person, this is a good buy. For me, I don't do a lot of action stuff or hiking with my cameras. So I guess I regret using this, buying this. But if I am ever out there, I will use this. I don't recommend this if you're not more of an adventure outdoors person. This is a Lume Cube tabletop tripod. I bought this in the broadcast set with the Lume Cube. This you can't get on its own. You have to buy it with the set, with the broadcast kit. So with the set, with the light, it's $130. But I was really surprised how sturdy and robust this stand is. It's all metal. There's few plastic parts, but it's about maybe a little less than a pound. It does feel like a weight. The load capacity, it doesn't say on the website because it's only meant for this light that weighs nothing. But I would say could maybe put 2 pounds, maybe two pounds on here. And the height is adjustable from 6 inches to 30 inches in length, which is pretty long. The way you open the legs out is these are metal legs. They fold out. They're only one height as far as I know. And then you twist this to lock the legs in. So see how they open up and then you could turn it and now they're stuck there. And they set on the table. They're pretty sturdy here. It has rubber texture on the feet, so it's not scrapey. And then the way you extend the pole is you turn and then you extend. So when this is fully extended, it goes from 6 inches to 30 inches in length. And it's all, since it's metal, most of it's metal, it's fairly sturdy. The metal ring here that locks the legs in, it wobbles and floats around. It's not the best. Oh no, it just needs to be tightened. Okay, so once that's tightened, it's good. The other thing is you could detach these. So this whole thing screws off here. And then you have just the legs as the base. And then you could undo the included ball mount and use this as a pole. But there's no grip material anywhere on this, so it's not going to be usable that way. But it comes in these pieces, detachable. I like it. Feels very sturdy. Lume Cube should just sell this by itself. I would buy this by itself if they did for maybe under $50. If this was $50 or less, I would get this by itself. Next is the Joby Telepod. I did another review of this. This is around $65. It's 8.8 ounces. The load capacity is 2.2 pounds. And when fully collapsed, it's 10.2 inches. And then when you fully extend it, it's 27.3 inches. This Telepod is a piece of garbage. I do not recommend this at all. These legs have grippy material, and then there's different levels. There's, let's see, fully collapsed, 2, 3, and they all adjust that way, but it's flimsy. There's nothing that locks this in place. So once this is even in the second degree there, it won't hold. And then you release the middle part, and it says there's a locking mechanism where you twist. So you twist right to unlock, you twist left to lock. But in my experience, as I twist it and lock it in, this does not hold its shape, hold its form. And this ball mount is garbage, the one that this Joby comes with. I cannot tighten this down for the I put webcams on here, and when I don't touch it and just leave it there, it's fine. But the minute I want to adjust it or move it or be mobile with this, not so good. Next here, this is the Oben TT-300. Oben has a series of different sizes. This is their biggest size. This one goes for around $70. It's 14.1 ounces. The payload is 6 pounds, and it goes of a height of 9.5 to 17.13 inches. And the way it adjusts are these twists. This is a lot of metal components and heavy plastic. This Oben strap here, I can't take it out. You have to cut it and break it in order to take this out. So this is sort of permanently there. These legs have a really wide spread, and they're weighted. So you do that, you spin the release, extend it, then you spin it again to tighten it. Then you set it down, and this is really sturdy. This has one of the widest bases. Out of all of these tripods here, this tightening mechanism here, this can tighten this down really tight to the point where it's even hard to loosen if you really lock it in there. And it comes with this ball mount, and it's a good ball mount. I like this little ball mount here. Next is the SwitchPod, which a lot of YouTubers have. I added a newer ball mount here with the Arca Swiss. This was like $20 or $25. The SwitchPod is famous for just being this quick. You hold it like a selfie stick, and then when you want to open it up, you just fling it out. I have this ball mount on here, so that's why it's a little difficult to fling out. And you twist here to lock it in. You also twist here to put on different accessories or different ball mounts or whatever you want. But without this ball mount, it's flat, so there's no articulation when you want to mount stuff. So you sort of need to have some kind of a head here. And then when you set it down, the weight on this is only 11.1 ounces, minus the head, just the legs. And it goes to a height of, without the ball mount, it goes to a height of 11 inches, and it's stuck that way. It doesn't go higher or lower than that. You can't adjust these legs height-wise. But the payload is 100 pounds. That's what they're advertising. They're advertising a 100-pound payload. So this could take every camera imaginable that you could buy. As long as you have the right head for it, you could, put on a red if you wanted to. And I was apprehensive of getting this just because it looked like a gimmick. It looked too gimmicky. But I'm finding a lot of use for it. Just as a general all-purpose tabletop tripod to put my iPad, actually. I was putting my iPad on this. And yeah, I like it. I like the slim profile. This is really good to travel with. SwitchPod, man. This is good invention. Not just a gimmick. $100 though. That's kind of expensive. $100. But this could last a long time. The next one is just a traditional GorillaPod. You've seen these for a long time. This is an older model. So the model equivalent to this one would be the GorillaPod 5K. And I'm just going to give the GorillaPod 5K specs because you can't buy this model anymore. And the GorillaPod 5K, it's $95. It weighs 1.63 pounds. The payload is 11 pounds. And the height is, the max height, 15.16 inches. And what's great about the GorillaPod, I mean, this is such a popular, it used to be, and it still is, a popular handheld and malleable form of these legs, can wrap around anything. And the Joby head here, this GorillaPod head, it's pretty sturdy. I like it. I like this design. Sort of an alternative to the Arca Swiss. Yeah, if you're into these this is a good one. I use these for mirrorless cameras. I don't use it so much now because the legs, even though it adds all of this flexibility and versatility, it's just too thick and big and bulky to travel with, to carry around. and it looks kind of funny. But this is still, has always been, since it's released, a great tabletop tripod. Next is a newer tripod, multi-purpose monopod I just bought from Altura. I never really heard of that brand. Altura 6-in-1. And it comes in a really nice package with a bunch of different accessories, all for $30. That's the thing about this one. It's only $30. So if you're cheap, like I am, this is a good, you could use this for a lot of different things. I noticed right away that $30, it does feel like $30, and it's flimsy. So the legs here are all plastic, except it has these metal frames here, and these are extendable legs with a locking mechanism. And each of these metal notches are a different length you could raise it to. This is supposed to be about 1.4 pounds in weight. The payload, I think, it doesn't really say the payload. I'm guessing it can't hold more than 3 pounds. 3 pounds max. And the height, it goes from 10.5 inches to 46 inches in height when you max it out. That's pretty tall. The problem with going that tall in this kind of a short section here is that once you get all the way up to the top, it's very wobbly and very unstable. I wouldn't trust any camera, GoPro, anything when I extended that high. That's just too high for this plastic, very lightweight monopod / selfie stick / tripod, tabletop tripod. It comes with this ball mount here. It's all plastic. It's not a detachable, there's no detachable plate here. You just gotta attach it here. All plastic. Maybe this is metal. And then you can release this ball mount here like this. And then, oh, this is where it extends. As you see, here's the very top, and it's so thin. But by the time you extend it past there, it's just gonna tip. But it's a detachable bottom here with the legs. So this could be a monopod. This could be a selfie stick. This just could be an extension on the legs here. Or you can remove that, and then these tripod legs become sort of like the Handypod, the Joby Handypod, the Manfrotto Pixie. Kind of has that look to it, that same form factor. Although this is all plastic and it does not feel comfortable in the hand like the Joby does. But for $30, you get this, and then you get a monopod leg, you get iPhone holder, you get a lot for your money. So if you're looking for something cheap and a setup that could have multiple purposes, I would look into the Altura. I don't know if I'm gonna hold on to this because it's a little too cheap for me. I like cheap stuff, but this is a little too cheap. And finally, this is my new favorite toy out of all of the tripod legs and monopods that I just went over. This is my favorite so far. This is the Smatry. I'm gonna say Smatry Q3S. There's another version that's just like this. It's the Q3 without the S, but get the Q3S. This is multi-purpose as well. So this detaches, and you get a sort of a selfie stick with a lanyard that you could remove. And it already comes with a GoPro mount, but you could take this off and not need to have a GoPro, and it's just a regular 1/4-20, and it has a built-in ball mount here. That isn't the greatest, but it's functional. And you have this selfie stick, and you can extend it. The specs on this, all this together is about 1 pound. The payload doesn't really say the payload, but I don't think this could take more than 2 pounds max. 2.2 pounds. Yeah, I don't see it taking any more than 2.2 pounds. The length, the height, it goes from 11.8 inches to 36.6 inches, which is really high, almost as high as the Altura. But this one, since it's metal and it's much sturdier, it still feels like it's going to tip, but I trust it more than the Altura. And this is pretty sturdy to me, in my opinion. And the price of this is $25. This is only $25. The legs here are metal. It has a very wide base, just like the Oben. And because of the wide base, when you stand it up, it's not going anywhere. It has some rubber material on each of the legs, on each of the feet. And yeah, this is pretty awesome setup for these little devices that I have. Yeah, this one's a winner, but they're, like I said, like I've gone through the other ones, there's uses for some of those other ones as well. Some of them are better than others. Don't get the Joby Telepod or the Ultrapod, but some of these, depending on what your needs are, pretty good.